Greetings to all the wonderful high school staff of Waterbury Public Schools. My name is Jackie Davis, and I serve as the district's climate and attendance coordinator. Please allow me to just have a moment of your time to share some information about the racial equity work that the district has invested in. I want to share how it includes you and also talk about how the professional learning opportunities that you will participate in the coming months fits into a bigger plan. So let me begin by giving just a very brief rationale as to why we talk about equity. Here in Waterbury Public Schools, our scholars speak at least 45 different languages and dialects. That does not include all of the cultural experiences that walk into your classrooms or your Google Meets every single day. This is one of our strengths, and it's something that we should build on. If we don't acknowledge and appreciate these differences, they can become stumbling blocks for us. So that's just one reason why we talk about racial equity and cultural inclusion. So I want to share with you a timeline of how this work has evolved in Waterbury. So in September of 2017, then Superintendent Dr. Ouellette gathered a team of teachers, administrators, central office staff, and community partners to look at ways in which race shows up in our data. This team also looked at ways in which we as a system can address the opportunity and achievement gaps that exist among our students. The team worked on crafting an equity policy that addressed some of these disparities. That policy was adopted by our Board of Education in August of 2019. Please allow me to just share one little snippet from that document. The policy reads, "The inclusion of all students and families supports the district's goal to increase student engagement and academic performance. Each child and member of the learning community deserves a respectful learning environment in which their cultural, racial, ethnic, and linguistic background is valued and contributes to successful academic outcomes. Educational equity means raising the achievement of all students while one, narrowing the gaps between the lowest and high-performing students, and two, eliminating the racial and cultural predictability and disproportionality of which student groups occupy the highest and lowest achievement categories." When Dr. Ruffin came on board as superintendent, she further strengthened the role of this district equity leadership team, and she challenged us to put into practice those concepts which are outlined in the policy. And so the DELT is currently made up of our Chief Academic Officer, Mr. Darren Schwartz, from our talent department, the supervisor, Mrs. Jessica Acasio, also from the talent department and former Teacher of the Year, Lisa Romano, our 6th through 12th math supervisor, Janine Menort-Kale, Kennedy Vice Principal, Matt Wisdowski, West Side House Principal, Michael Verino, North End Middle School ELA teacher and also former Teacher of the Year, Ryan Carpenter, and our community partner, Rosaline Sotero, Director of Community Schools for Waterbury Bridge to Success, as well as myself. As we embarked on this journey, we were so fortunate to have CERC, the State Education Resource Center, as our very capable guide and helping us to navigate the rocky terrain of addressing systemic racism. So the DELT, along with the help of CERC, developed this 3-year professional learning plan. And so you, as a high school staff, are entering year 1 of that plan. So this is how it looks. In year 1, the focus is on helping staff engage in the conversation. Now, we recognize that talking about race is not easy, and sometimes it's just downright uncomfortable. We recognize that in some instances, we've even been socialized to avoid the conversation. However, let me make this point. Talking about race does not make you racist. Likewise, our invitation to you to join the dialogue is not a personal indictment. It's not an accusation. However, as educators, we recognize that sometimes coming up with the best viable solutions to a problem requires us to talk to one another. And so in year one, we want to provide you with some tools to have good, productive, fruitful conversations about race. So over the next couple of weeks, a member of our team will be engaging you at your building in conversations about the role of race in education. In addition, on March 5th, we will host a equity conference in which we will bring together all of our high school staff to learn from some professionals in various fields about what equity work looks like. What does that look like in our daily lives? So last year, the middle schools went through year one of professional learning, in which our keynote speaker was the Commissioner of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona, who did a phenomenal job. We would have loved to bring him back this year, but I think he's a little bit busy in our nation's capital. However, we have a jam-packed day planned for you. We're so excited about some of the people that will be coming to share with our staff. So in preparation for our upcoming conversations, there's a couple of things that we want you to do. Number one, review the district equity policy. It's linked right there in the email that you received, or you can go on the Waterbury Public Schools webpage. If you go to our website and click on Board of Education, and then scroll down to policies. Once you get to the policy page, you're going to look for the equity policy number 0523. And there you'll be able to scroll through and see everything that is brought forth in that document. Number two, we want the process moving forward to be informed by you, the staff, and your experiences. And so we're asking each of you to participate in a thought exchange. That too is linked in the email, or you can scan the code that is currently on your screen. The responses to the question that is posed are anonymous, but you will get a chance to make your voice heard and to also hear the opinions of your colleagues. So my challenge to you comes from a quote from Sitting Bull. Let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children. Let's make it a meaningful one.